Hello, welcome back. Let's start our series. And number one, I think, out of the four is fuel. Now, I know this might be so simple to many of you, but it's very, very crucial to do the numbers. It's important when you're budgeting to do the numbers. At PDP, we have a goal to spend 20 to 25% on fuel to gross ratio. So what does that mean? I've heard miles per gallon, but what is fuel to gross ratio? So an example, on a $4,000 load, budget-wise, you have to spend not more than $800 to $1,000 on fuel. Sad to say, there's a lot of people who agree with this, but they just don't do it. And with people who, like on the 4,000, they spend 50%, which is $2,000. Imagine this, on this one load, that's a difference of $1,200 to $1,000 just wasted. What would you be able to do with that money? But it just goes away to the oil companies. There's a couple ways how you can do this, but I think it's a combination of all of these things that you ought to do to reach this goal. Otherwise, you can't do just one or the other and expect that, to chance that it'll just land there. No. So there's a couple things. Miles per gallon. Yes, you got to make sure that you are, reaching the goal. A lot of the newer trucks, they can go up to 7 or 8 miles to the gallon. So if your trucks cannot do that, or if you're thinking that's not possible, in looking at others, it has to do not only with capability of the truck reaching that, but also self-control of the driver. And there's a couple ways how you can do this. So, idling. I get a lot of people say, Peter, it's cold outside, it's hot outside. I gotta have my truck on. And look, I get it. It's, you want to be comfortable. However, there's absolutely no reason why you should have the truck on if you go to a truck stop, if you are outside of your truck. If you're not in the truck, there's no reason why it should be on. It's just wasting fuel. Also, I think that when you go to in the spring or fall, the temperatures are very nice, in many places of the country, and between 55, 70 Fahrenheit, why would you need the truck on? So there's some people who think the truck always has to be on. And the problem with that is you're just wasting fuel, and it's your money. You're wasting your money. Now, that's up to you to decide if you want to continue doing that, but I'm just telling you, if you want to save, if you want to make money, there's absolutely no reason for unnecessary idling. There's one more thing about idling, that's APU. You've heard of it, and it's great. I mean, I personally don't like it to some extent, but if I would have it, I would use it. But I would strongly suggest to still do not let it idle all the time, because that's your money. Okay, so the next is speeding. So I got some drivers that argue with me saying that driving, ridiculous 85 miles per hour is not going to influence on your miles per gallon, on your fuel economy. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to break it to you, but that's just not true. I mean, first of all, it's bad for safety reasons, and you should not be doing it. But I guess the main question you got to ask yourself is, do you want to deliver that load faster, or do you want to make money from that load? The choice is yours. I think that anything over 67, 70 miles per hour starts, where it's starting to be unnecessary. Anything over is you're just blowing it out of the exhaust, and you're wasting a lot of money. Your miles per gallon will never be good if you speed a lot. So next one is plan where you're fueling. So planning is very important because A lot of drivers just leave it up to chance. They drive all over US and fuel at expensive, cheap truck stops. I mean, you gotta have a plan. Otherwise, in order to save money, in order to make the most out of it, do not leave it to chance. There's fuel cards that can give you discounts. Ours does up to 50 cents. That's 50, sometimes more. And we forward that all to the owner-operators. Check out some kind of fuel card, to save. Also, I would recommend to fuel where the prices are the lowest, but the tax is the highest on the fuel, because that way you get the most of it during IFTA. So there's other things like cruise control, shifting gears. So all of these are important. I think that it's a combination of things, but they might not be as big as the other ones before. But cruise control is obvious, What I mean by shifting gears slowly, I just mean don't be all racing, no, just slow down. Come on, you want to be safe, okay? Hauling lighter loads, obvious that's a given, But I want to mention this next point. So you got all of these on this side, which focus on pretty much expense, right? On this side has to do with income, with your gross loads. Obviously, the formula is fuel per gross load. So in order to get the best, you got to work on both, okay? I have a lot of people that focus only on these, but they haul bad loads, and then they're like, well, I ain't making it. Or the other way, there's a ton of drivers who focus only on getting the best paying load, $2, $3, $3 a mile, but they don't control at all on this side. So you gotta do both, okay? In my perspective, and I will say this, a lot of owner-operators that do make it, hauling short loads is probably the best case. I mean, there's always an exception to every rule, but I would recommend 300 miles to 800 miles per load. Now, if they do want to pay you a ton of money for cross country, sure, but it's very unlikely that you're gonna see that, especially in 2019. And even during the good years, I would still suggest to do shorter runs, because you still will get the most out of it on the rate per mile. So when you look at all of this, and this is something big I'm trying to, in conclusion, I want to put attention to this sentence right here really quick. Hauling good paying loads is third level important. First biggest deal breaker is reaching the 20 to 25% fuel to gross ratio. Second is managing and balancing downtime. And it's a combination of these three that will guarantee you the profit at any trucking company as a self-dispatched owner-operator. This is a big deal, and it's based on all the data that we've seen from owner-operators that make good money. Doesn't matter what market it is. Is it bad market like it is in 2019, or good like it was in 17 or 18? This is how you make money. If you do not do any three of these or all three, then I promise you, you're not gonna make money. You might as well just go do something else. So this is all for this video. See you in the next video, and we're gonna be talking about downtime.